This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. We're so glad you're here. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print podcast, which is just finished its first season and had a record listenership. So thank you guys for joining us on that. If you haven't listened through the Fine Print yet, you need to. You can find it anywhere great podcasts are sold.
And they're free.
And it's free, by the way. There you go. That's how that works. Open phones here at 888-825-5225. You jump out. We'll talk about your life, your money. Fadio is with us in Norfolk, Virginia to start off this hour. Hey, Fadio, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Well, I just recently found out that my plant where I work is closing down. I've been here for 18 years, and I'm trying to figure out what I should do with, like, my investments, my 401ks, and all that type of stuff. I've talked to a few different people, and I'm not sure what route I should go, what type of mutual funds I should look at, and things like that.
Wow. How old are you?
54.
Okay, cool. And so how much money do you have in your mutual funds or in your 401ks and retirement plans?
Probably around 300,000.
Way to go, man. Good for you.
Well, I'm an everyday millionaire also.
Well, good. Way to go, man. That's awesome. And where's the rest of the money?
Well, I got $500,000 worth of raw land. Plus, that's paid for. I got a $280,000 paid for house. And then I have another house that I only owe about $50,000 on, and that's worth about $330,000.
Way to go, man. Well done. So what are you going to do? Yeah. What's your next career step?
I have 6 special needs children, and the 100 acres I have is going to be turned into a sustainable farm. I have 3 boys with autism, and we're going to raise cattle and, firewood businesses, things like that.
Okay, and your plan with that is to make enough income to support the family without having to touch these investments.
Well, my wife is she's got her own business. She's a behavioral analysis person, and she's getting ready to start her own business. And we'll have probably close to $250,000 a year household income.
Okay, good for you.
And that's even after you leave the plant?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Well, that makes this situation a lot less scary. I mean, there's not a lot to fear here. So you're just wondering what you should do financially or career-wise? Because you were talking about the mutual funds.
You're talking about just rolling your 300 over to mutual funds in an IRA, right?
Yeah, I was going to do it. I'm going to do a direct transfer rollover. But the other thing is the company, we're with Vanguard, and Vanguard is offering no penalty fee to do a payout where they would just withhold the taxes, and then they would just give me a check for the rest, but not charge me any penalties because I'm before 59 and a half.
It's not up to Vanguard. It's a law. Is Vanguard going to give you 10%?
What they would do is they would just withhold whatever the taxable rate would be, and then they're not going to charge you. I guess they said there was no penalty fee.
There is a penalty.
Because the company was closing.
There is a penalty.
Oh, okay. So then whoever I talked to over there didn't know what they were talking about.
That doesn't go away. But, and they don't have the power to waive it because it's not their penalty. It's the government's penalty. It's an IRS regulation. So if they're going to reimburse you, which I doubt. So anyway, I'm not doing any of that. You don't need this money and you don't need to pay it out. I would just get with a SmartVestor Pro, roll it all over, like you said, a direct transfer rollover into a traditional IRA, the 4 types of mutual funds we talk about.
Yeah, you diversify those across the 4 types with that SmartVestor Pro, and that money's going to grow. I mean, if you're even looking at, let's say 10% rate of return, that's going to give you some great money as you head into retirement years without really having to touch anything else, any of this property. You're going to be a multimillionaire with that.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, growth and income, aggressive growth, international, the 4 mutual funds I invest in and that we teach people to. That's what you're going to do. And just sit down and pick those out. I just keep this real clean and real simple. The great news is you've done such a good job building wealth that, that like George said, there's no fear in this process. It's kind of sad that the plant's going away. But now you get to go do the farm thing with your kids.
Take an encore career.
You get the farm thing with your kids, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. Be a lot of action over there. Zach is in Orlando. Zach, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey.
So I'm curious to know when I should start bridge investing. I know I've heard you mention it occasionally, but I just wanted to understand where in the baby steps this would fall.
Bridge investing is for having money to retire with or to feed yourself with out of an investment before 59 and a half, which means that's quote unquote retiring early, so to speak. Okay. And so, yeah, you don't fool with that till baby step 7. That's additional wealth is what that is.
Got it.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Wow, already thinking about this. That's great. So I'm guessing you want to retire early. Do you have any goals, any vision for this?
Yeah, my goal is to retire about 40 to 45, or at least not have to worry about, working and just do work for fun, basically.
So you want a nest egg big enough that you would be able to retire at 45 and still do whatever you want without worrying about bringing in new income.
You could probably pull that off. So do you not like what you're doing?
I do. I just want to, be able to invest in my family and just have that financial freedom to really do whatever. I'm sure I'll still be working in some capacity.
Yeah, so we're not really talking about retiring and hating your job and I can't wait to get away and I'm 25 and I already hate. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about you're going to have some wealth. And so that's a good plan, brother. It's good that you're thinking out that far ahead. Dr. John Deloney and I were talking about this the other day on the air. This word retirement, when you throw it around like this, it's even back to the Chris Hogan Retire Inspired days, where retirement's not an age, it's a number, and it's not really retirement. I don't really teach people to retire.
Yeah.
If you hate your job and you can't wait to retire, you should change jobs. You should change careers. You should do something different. You shouldn't be handcuffed to something you hate. But to have wealth to give you options, now I'm all about that. But people call that, in air quotes, retirement, even though they're not going to retire.
It's just you can do what you want to do instead of what you have to do.
Yeah, that's what he's aiming at. That's what Zach's aiming at.
Yeah.
And so, I haven't had to work for many years. So I was able to not work, which I guess is what we're talking about, right? But chose to work because I love what I do. Matter of fact, y'all just can't get rid of me. So there you go.
You're here to spread hate and dissension at this point.
That's my job. This is the Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. George, Rachel Cruz, and I will be doing a big event next Thursday night, January the 13th. It is Building Wealth in 2022. The 1,500 tickets we had for an in-room, it's not a room, that's a big room, but in-house, in-person viewing sold out in about 30 seconds. So those are all gone, and we've got about 70,000 folks registered to view it by live stream free. So it looks like we'll probably have over 100,000 people watching on the live stream at this point, and you don't want to miss this. It doesn't cost you a dime because I mentioned to you it's free. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, we're going to talk about building wealth this year in this current environment. And, man, there's some stuff going on out there.
There's so much out there. As I'm looking at what articles, what people are talking about, they're not really as concerned with solving the root problems, like getting out of debt and having an emergency fund. They're trying to bring in income as quickly as possible. And what that leads them to is these get-rich-quick schemes. And they start getting advertisements for courses on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook with big promises to make them money instantly. That's scary.
Yeah, that is scary. It's wild. So, anyway. We'd love to have you watch this with us. It's going to be a couple hours long. It'll be George Camel, Rachel Cruz, Dave Ramsey talking about building wealth in 2022. It is free to watch it as a live stream. And again, it's sold out, so it's your only option. Free to watch it as a live stream Thursday, January 13th. You do have to pre-register, and we will send you the link for you to do this free. So go to RamseySolutions.com/wealth. RamseySolutions.com/wealth. Bob's in Traverse City, Michigan. Hey, Bob, what's up?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Better than we deserve, man. How can we help?
Thank you. Hey, I'm curious. I own a home. It's a brand new home. I actually lost it to a fire almost 2 years ago. Rebuilt, had to refinance. They appraised the home at $600,000 just before construction was done. My dilemma is my dad's farm. My dad's retired. I am trying to decide if I should sell my home, buy my dad's farm, or finance my dad's farm. At my place, I have 2 rentals on the property already that pay all but $200 of the mortgage payment. My dad's place has 1 rental and then the farmhouse that he rents out as well, so there's already 2 rentals there. My long-term goal is to have 5 rentals out there. There's different lots. So my long-term goal is to put in more homes and have rentals and be able to live off that income when I retire. So I'm in a big dilemma to sell my place and pay cash or what I do.
Okay. How old are you?
42.
How many acres is the farm?
Farm is 80 acres, and my home is 20 acres.
Okay. So you would live on the farm if you sold your home?
If I sold my home, I would remodel the farmhouse, and I would live there, and then down the road is where the rentals are, so they're not close to my home.
Are you married?
No.
Okay. All right. Nobody to talk into this?
Got 3 children.
You ain't anybody to talk into this? 3 children at home?
No. One's out of the home, one's 17, and the other one's 12.
Okay. All right.
So I'm curious, if you sold your place, how much money would that give you to put to the farm? You said you could do it with cash?
I could. I owe just under $240 on my home.
Okay. So you'd be making about 300 and some change there?
Mm-hmm.
What do you make a year?
Oh, about $95 a year.
How much other money have you got?
I've got probably about $120,000 in savings.
Mm-hmm. Well, I always dial these things back to kind of, and I have to do it in about 30 seconds here. What would I do if I woke up in your shoes? I'm going to be debt free. You know, you called Dave Ramsey, right? And so, you know, that's going to happen. And for me to go into debt to buy rental property, which is in effect what you'd be doing, I'm not going to suggest you do that. I want you to get rental property, but I'm not going to suggest you do it with debt. I never have in 30 years here on the air, and I don't guess we'll start today. So, as I think through it, it doesn't sound really scary either way. But what would I do? I would sell it, and I would pay cash for the farm, and then I'd start using any cash flows I can create to build the first property and build another property and build another property and or buy other properties that are rentals. I think you're going to want some rentals that are not next door. I think that's not a bad idea, because renters that are next door, it's both good and bad.
They'll come knocking.
Yeah, they could come knocking, and you have to set an additional set of relational boundaries with them in that. But the good news is you can find them if you need to. You can just walk over there, but it's it's a mixed bag in that sense. So, but yeah, pay cash.
It sounds like he's got this vision for the farm that he's excited about, which is great. But again, if you move at the speed of cash, it gets a lot less scary, a lot less risk.
Yeah, and again, it has served me so well for 30 years living my life that way after I went broke in real estate to just pay cash. And it just simplifies everything. I don't have the debt option on the table, and so if I'm going to buy something, I just have to look and see if I have the money. It's that simple. And then I don't have any payments if there's a pandemic. Oh, that never happens, though. Okay. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Trey is with us in Colorado Springs. Hey, Trey, what's up?
Hi, I had a career question for you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Great, man. How can we help?
So I have a career option that I'm looking at that would increase my income by about 2.5 times the amount it is now, but it'd be an oil field job, so it would involve me being away from my daughter and my wife frequently. I mean, it'd be like 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. And it'll speed up. We did the math of we're on baby step 2 right now. We have about 19,000 left, and it would speed that up by about 7 months, and then funding our emergency fund, it would speed up by overall, it would knock a whole year off of the thing, and it's a big change, and I'm trying to make sure that I am looking at the whole picture, and I'm getting a good – I want to make sure I'm not making a mistake and that I'm not overlooking anything important in a career change like that, and I was hoping to get your guys' kind of opinion on that.
Well, the oil field, that's some hard work, and of course the pay comes with that. So this feels like it's a short-term thing. I don't know that I could do this long term. And the year, speeding your debt snowball and the baby steps up by a year, I don't know that that's tantalizing enough for me to jump on because of how big of a move this is, being away from the family. So if that's something that you and your wife decide this is the right move for us to do this, then I'm good with it, knowing that it's probably not going to be the long-term thing for the next 10, 15 years.
What do you do now?
That was kind of so I do electrical right now, and it'd be electrical on the oil rigs as well. Another factor that kind of plays into it, we've been trying to do the math of when it comes to baby step 3B of how long it would take us to save up a down payment. And where I am right now, unless I open my own company, I'm pretty close to kind of maxed out, and we don't see us being able to purchase a home here in this area at any time soon, whereas this would also speed that up and make that a possibility.
How old's your baby?
She will be 8 months old next week.
What's your wife say about all this?
She's hesitant about it because she doesn't necessarily want me gone, but at the same time, she agrees that it would be something not necessarily forever. But
so if you do it for 6 months and you decide it ain't worth it and you want to come home, can you come home? Can you land back on something?
Yeah, definitely.
So there's very little downside to trying it.
That's kind of what I was looking at, but I've never done anything like this, and I was trying to make sure I'm not. It almost I don't want to bite off more than I can chew, I guess, without really thinking of all the repercussions that comes with it, I guess, if that makes sense.
That's very wise. I appreciate that. I don't see anything that's scaring me. I will tell you, we work with the military a lot, and when one of the spouses is deployed, a lot of financial mistakes are made in the name of I'm tired, I'm lonely, I'm away, if you don't have a very set plan on what you're going to do.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess?
With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. John and Ashley from Colorado Springs are on the line. Says on my screen you guys are debt-free. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
Well done. How much did you pay off?
$209,089.
Way to go. And your range of how long did this take you?
4 years.
4 years, and your range of income during that time?
145 to 200,000.
Cool. What do you guys do for a living?
So I am a pharmacist that works in administration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a medical laboratory scientist.
Oh, wow. Couple of smart people. Well done. What kind of debt was this $209,000? I'm guessing pharmacy school.
Yeah, you'd be right. And added with some stupid on there.
Okay.
And a vehicle.
A vehicle and student loan debt and what else?
That was it.
Oh, that's all?
$189,000 student loan, and the rest was a van.
Whoa. Okay. How long you guys been married?
9 years.
Okay. So you've been bopping along 4 or 5 years in marriage, and you look up and say, $209,000, this is not fun anymore. Tell me the story. What got you started? What lit you on fire for this Ramsey stuff?
So you know how you always, the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender.
Mm-hmm.
And John's actually a veteran, and we had to get out of the Army, even though he wanted to stay in, because, with me needing to work and pay back those massive student loans, I had to have a job. So it kind of made some life decisions for us, and even though I made a budget every month, we didn't stick to it. So yeah, it made some life decisions. We had to get out of the Army and get steady, and decided to attack it from there.
Wow. Ooh, okay. So in civilian life, you make more than you did in the military, John?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right. And of course, Ashley's going to use the pharmacy degree and move on, and you guys are making money. Like, that's how the 145 to 200 happens, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the debt forced you to address this. How did you get connected to us?
So, we grew up in church, and we'd always heard your name, and when it got overwhelming, I just started listening to your YouTube channel and, kind of got direction from there. We were too cheap to pay for the classes, so we just kept listening to your YouTube every day, and that's how we got started.
That's awesome.
That's all the motivation you needed was some YouTube videos.
Very
cool. It was. We had debt-free screams on repeat every Saturday morning when we were cleaning the house.
Wow.
I love it. That's fun. Just sit and listen to them over and over, different ones. That's great.
Yep.
Very, very cool. And that also ends up giving you enough instruction to know how to work your way through this, right?
Yep, exactly.
So $209,000 paid off in 4 years. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Well, we really think that there's two keys, and we'll keep it brief, but one is putting God first, and I think that's a nice phrase, but you actually have to put it into practice. So pray over the budgets and really commit it to God and know that you're doing it for God. And he really blessed those efforts. And we became thankful and content. It grew those seeds in our hearts. And I think that's key, especially when you're going intense for 4 years. You need that. And the second one is, like I said, we did a budget for years and we didn't stick to it. And that doesn't do anything. So you actually have to follow the roadmap.
Wow.
Right?
I love that insight. Yeah, doing a budget is one thing. Actually sticking to it, that's the hard part. Yeah, that's exactly right.
A little bit of faith, a little bit of contentment, and a whole lot of budgeting.
Oh, yeah.
That's incredible. So do you guys have any cheerleaders along the way? Or did people think you were weird for doing this stuff?
So pretty much everybody was supportive, but there were a lot of people who questioned specific things that we did and just thought it was really weird.
That's how you know you're on the right path.
Yeah.
What were one of those things that people said, that's weird, why would you do that?
Yep.
Right? He cut my hair. We re-roofed our house on our own. We sold a nice car and bought a, old beater. Those sorts of things. Our kids kept they were our biggest cheerleaders, honestly. Our 6-year-old told everyone that we were on a budget, and that's why he couldn't have his Happy Meal, unless we put it in the budget. But he was so excited to be debt-free, so
Better
he
than
was
the Happy
probably
Meal.
our biggest cheerleader.
True happiness.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's great.
Right?
Dave, would Sharon let you cut her hair?
No.
Okay, just curious.
No. And nor would I attempt that.
Yeah.
So I do not have that is not among the gifts that I even approach.
That's one of the first times I've heard that level of sacrifice. So I applaud you guys. How did the haircut turn out?
I have actually 2 sayings that summarize my philosophy of cutting hair. You want to hear them?
Sure.
So the first one comes from my dad. It's, do you want to keep the ears?
I like that.
And the second one is the difference between a bad haircut and a good haircut is 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good. Well, but based on the photos we're seeing on the screen here, the haircut looks good. So great job.
It didn't turn any photos with John messing up. That's for sure.
Well, if you mess up, it just gets shorter.
He's figured it out.
And it was worth it.
This guy's got a future. I'm just saying.
A lot of one-liners.
Probably not.
Well worth it.
Well done, you guys. Very well done. We're very proud of you. You're very impressive. How's it feel now that you're done?
It's great.
Freedom. It's like a weight lifted off our shoulders. I mean, when you think that our payments were, $2,700 a month, that's just huge, a huge chain that's been broken.
Kind of unbelievable.
Yeah. It's a different, you feel like you lost 300 pounds. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, for sure.
It's just amazing. So very well done, you guys. Very well done. You all are rock stars. That's fun. Absolutely amazing. The former military guy does the haircuts. That just occurred to me. What do you get here? High and tight, right?
Just a nice shave.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, my gosh. All right, John and Ashley in Colorado Springs. 200. Oh, wait a minute. We got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires coming out next week. We'll send it to you immediately, and you'll get it about the time it comes out, probably, something like that, and a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away and disturb someone's life. That'll be awesome. So very cool stuff. John and Ashley, Colorado Springs, $209,000 paid off in 4 years, making $145 to $200. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Yeah! Well done, you guys. Very well done. Now, haircutting was not one of the things that, for Sharon, that we did in-house. I don't have any hair, so mine's real easy. I haven't been to a barbershop in years.
Save a lot of money that way.
Yeah, I just
That's
got
how you became
these
wealthy.
little clippers over at Sam's Club and just go about once a week, and it pretty well keeps it. And I don't have any shampoo cost either, so it's
See, silver lining to being
I'm just
bald.
saying it's real low maintenance. I don't have to worry about getting hair and makeup done. I mean, we get makeup done when I'm doing a shoot, of course, but you got the hair. I mean, you have the
You don't want to know what it takes,
There's a lot of effort goes into this.
It takes a village and a lot of pomade to make this happen. But,
There's a whole village of Oompa Loompas running around.
The grass is always greener on the other side. But you don't have much grass, so.
Whoa!
Not a lot of lawn care. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm trying to say.
No weed eater needed.
Yeah. But what I love about John and Ashley, and it made me think about this, what are you willing to do?
Yeah.
And they were willing to do just about anything and get creative with it. I mean, they thought we can save $200. Do you know how much it costs to get a woman's haircut?
You know what it costs to roof a house? I mean, they roof their own house.
It's impressive.
That's pretty amazing.
But it's those kinds of sacrifices.
And they were too cheap to buy Financial Peace University even. I mean, so
just watching the YouTube
That's just
videos.
going too far right there.
Yeah. That's all right. We're happy to do it.
I'm glad they got out of debt. That's so awesome. It's very fun. Yeah, you really do. You have to ask yourself, what am I willing to not do is as important as what I am willing to do in order to hit your goals. And that usually keeps people from hitting their goal, whatever their goal is, more than the thing they're willing to do.
Yeah, if you're saying, what am I willing to cut out? What am I willing to add in and start doing? Man, you'll start to get excited about what could happen.
Changes a lot of stuff. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print podcast, is my co-host today. David is in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I recently finished nurse practitioner school, and I'm going to be moving into that role here in the next month or so. But
I'm sorry, I didn't understand you. Your phone's kind of weird. Are you speaking directly into it? What did you say? You finished what?
I recently finished nurse practitioner school.
Oh, good.
And I'm going to be moving into that role here in the next month or so.
Cool.
But by doing that, I'll be joining a doctor's group that they contract you out as a 1099 employee. So they don't offer any health insurance or any benefits of that sort. So my question is I've been looking at different options, and I know you guys endorse Christian Healthcare Ministries.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at their plans and planning on going with that, but I saw that they cap out at $125,000 per event. So I'm just trying to figure out if that's still the best way to go, or if I should look at private insurance, which I know is usually quite a bit more expensive. Mm-hmm. We don't really have any major health problems with our family, so we're pretty healthy as far as that goes, but I do know that any major hospitalization typically is quite a bit more than that. So I just want to get your input on that.
Exactly. Well, that's the obvious risk that you're taking with the cap on that. And we do know that 100% of the claims or the effectively what we would call claims out here have been paid by that company over the years, and so we trust them in that regard. Full disclosure, I'm not on it. George is not on it. We have group health policy here at Ramsey, and we're both a part of that. Of course, the company pays the vast majority of that for our team members, so it's less expensive out of George's pocket than Christian Healthcare would be, because he's not in the open market like you are. So,
right.
But I'm real careful to make sure that everybody knows what I don't endorse something I wouldn't do or don't believe in enough to send my mother there, that kind of a thing, right? So. That's the way we feel about CHM. They've been with us for many, many years as a sponsor, and we don't sponsor just anyone. Over the years, we've had different companies go broke and different things that didn't follow through on things when we were sponsoring. I mean, when they were sponsoring and we were endorsing them. It's embarrassing when that happens, but it's not our fault. We don't cause it, but we try to be as careful as we can to put our name on something. So yeah, I believe in them. I believe in what they're doing. I know the guys that run it. I've had meetings with them, and I think they'll do exactly what they said they were going to do, but you're obviously tuned into the biggest part of the risk, and you just got to decide if you want to take that extra risk.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as Dave here, and on top of that, I would add health insurance is very personal, and so as you're looking into this, you can jump on to Ramsey Solutions and click on Trusted there, and you can connect with an insurance agent who is not tied to any one company, and they'll shop around to find the best possible health insurance for you at the best price for what your family's needs are. So that would be my first step, is to do that and then weigh it against Christian Healthcare Ministries, talk it over with your family, and again, health insurance is all about risk. How much risk are you willing to take on? And then your premiums will reflect that.
Yeah. And of course, we all, know technically speaking, CHM is not technically insurance. It's technically a sharing program, but it's filling the gap of what insurance would have done if you don't have insurance or don't choose to go with traditional health insurance. So no apologies for endorsing them. Proud to endorse them. Lots of people that are Ramsey listeners use them and have good experience. So no problems with any of that. But that's the whole ups and downs of the thing. Good people involved. Steve is with us. Steve's in Lansing, Michigan. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Okay. Well, my wife and I are in what seems like an impossibly tight spot. We've been dealing with basically increasing health problems and income reduction, and right now we're kind of in a spot where we feel like we need, like an unrealistic financial miracle that we know won't happen. So that's kind of the situation we're in.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's talk that through and understand what you're talking about.
Okay.
What is your income?
Sure.
What are your incomes?
Okay, we were at about $74.30 a month, and we have been reduced to about $3,200. I'm a paraplegic. I've always worked, but my work has completely dried up over this past year with COVID and a few things. And then her income was reduced, and she has lost her health insurance. So, like I said, we go from $74.30 to $3,200 a month. We've had some big home and vehicle repairs that are necessary. We were going through Total Money Makeover. Mm-hmm. We realized that we weren't there for that, so we kind of dialed it back and we're going through Financial Peace, and we realized we're still not even quite there. So we really need some direction on what to do with this situation.
Mm-hmm. So what are you doing for work right now?
Right now, I'm a freelance web developer, and technology and kind of the small business. Small business has been my main clientele, mm-hmm. and that has largely evaporated.
Could you look for a salaried position with a company?
Yes, I'm in the process of trying to do that. I am not. I have not been successful thus far with that.
Okay, help me with this, because web developers are in great demand. When you say you're a web developer, what do you mean? You're a Dev 1, Dev 2, Dev 3? What are you, a platform architect? What do you do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I just do. I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I create sites for small businesses. I work with their marketing. I do just try to set up new businesses with their entire initial setup.
Yeah, do you have the skills to join a dev team?
Probably not.
Okay, that's what I was hearing.
Probably not, to be honest.
Okay, all right. Because that obviously the developer world is just in great demand right now. We've got several hundred of them on our team and are constantly hiring in that spot. And so that's the only reason I've got a little bit of knowledge about it, is it's a frustration point here at Ramsey. So if you can, so you really need to get your business moving of helping small businesses, or get involved with somebody who's doing that, like a marketing agency or something that would hire you to help with the technology side of a marketing campaign.
Yeah. So something like that would be wonderful. I've had a big part of, like I said, is the.
What were you doing? Who were you with before? How were you making money before?
Word of mouth, online, some small online marketing, and just.
So you had multiple clients?
Yes.
Okay. Were they in a space that were shut down with COVID, or what?
Yeah. I had four major, I wouldn't say major, but my four primary clients, and all of them dried up over the course of the last year and a half.
Okay.
Every single one shut down there.
Okay. All right. Well, the good news is you're not geographically bound with what you're doing. You could do it. You can reach out online, and you could be doing it for someone in Nashville. You could be doing it for someone. I mean, if Lansing's not operating as openly as some other areas, you could get that going. So I think you've got a marketing problem on your side, and you're probably your miracle in that regard. How much of the $74.30 were you making?
Let's see, 74. Hold on. I got my numbers here. Probably over half. Okay. It was about 40. Let's see, 42.
Okay.
I was about 42.
Yeah, it feels like you guys have an income crisis that is creating these other crises. And just in talking to you for a moment here, that's what it feels like. And it feels like you guys got to get, you've had all these things happen to you, and you've got to turn the tables and start happening to the situation. Let me send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and jump on his website and start studying things. I'll also send you a copy of the EntreLeadership book, since you're running your own thing, because I really want to give you guys a boost on the income side of the equation. I think that's going to solve where you're going. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even sync clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Fine Print podcast, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your work, your relationships, your money, and your life. That's what we're here for. Common sense for your life. Common sense is so rare in America today, it's like having a superpower. So we're here to help you. 888-825-5225. Jacob starts off this hour in Chattanooga. Hi, Jacob. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up, man?
So my wife and I are 27. We've been in our home for about a year and a half now, but we've just been listening to your show for about a year. So we're trying to figure out if we should refinance our home from a 30-year to 15 based on where we are right now.
No. If you pay a 30 like a 15, it pays off in 15. Now, you would refinance it either way, and while you're at it, put it on a 15 if you can save enough on the interest for that to make sense.
Yeah, and what we talk about with refinancing is doing a break-even analysis, which just means figuring out when you're going to ROI on this decision. So what's your current interest rate?
3.5.
3.5 on the 30-year. What would you go down to if you did the 15?
I think it would just barely bump down, if not stay the same.
Yeah, at that point it's not.
No, it'd be more like 2.5 right now. I mean, the rates this week on a 15 will be around 2.5. So you'd save around 1%. What's your balance?
120.
Okay. All right. So if you save 1%, that's $1,200 a year. If the refinance cost is $3,600, it takes 3 years to recoup. That's what George's talking about of a break-even analysis. If you're saving $1,200, but if you're saving $1,200 and it takes $2,400 to refinance, then you recoup in 2 years. You follow me?
Yep, I gotcha.
But you don't have to do any of that. You can run those numbers out if you want with Churchill Mortgage and see where you stand. It's borderline. I doubt it's going to make sense. I would imagine your closing costs are going to make this break even too far out to make it fun with the spread that you've got. Because it might not be 2.5, it might be 2.75, which changes it from $1,200 down to about $900, and now it gets less. It lengthens that break-even time out there. You don't want to break-even time much more than 2 years. It doesn't make sense. So the big answer to your question is you don't have to refinance just to go to a 15. You just get your calculator out and your payment calculator at RamseySolutions.com and do the payment on $120,000 at 3.5% on 15 years, and then do the payment principal and interest only at 3.5. Figure out what your exact principal and interest is. And then the difference, you pay that as extra principal every month, which is making you basically pay a 15-year payment. You see what I'm doing?
Yep, I see what you mean.
And it pays off in exactly as if you'd done a 15-year.
Yeah. And a lot of people, Dave, obviously we recommend only getting a 15-year. If you've already done the 30, that's okay. It's usually not worth undoing that decision unless you have an unusually high interest rate or there's some other factors at play. But I love the spirit of it. I can tell that you guys want to do this plan. And so the best thing you can do is start to make double, triple mortgage payments and get that thing paid off in 15 years or less.
Yeah, because here's the thing. You're not really going to run that extra 15 very long if you're working the baby steps. Because when you get to baby steps 4, 5, and 6, you're putting 15% of your income away to retirement, you're doing kids' college, and then any extra you have, you're throwing at the mortgage. It's not just the 15-year upgrade, right? And so the 15-year upgrade would only apply while you're working 1 through 3, and I might not even do it then. I probably just use that to work 1 through 3 and just let it sit at 30 if you're there. So, So you really never actually do this because you're going to put more than the extra upgrade in baby step 6 when you're working baby step 6. So Stephen is with us. Stephen is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I am. Well, let's see. I'm trying to navigate home ownership in a living situation as what will be a newly married couple. I'm engaged to a wonderful woman. I'll be getting married in September.
I'm glad you didn't get engaged to a woman that wasn't wonderful.
I don't know why you would either. I know people that do that.
That sounded close to home there, man.
But so we're trying to navigate what our living situation is going to be. Mm-hmm. So I am 31. Mm-hmm. I'm on baby step 3. Mm-hmm. I should be able to get there by about March or April. Mm-hmm. She is also debt-free. And so between my 401k and our paid-off cars, we'll be at about a 6-figure net worth when we get married.
Wow.
But we won't quite have what I would like for a down payment for a house. Mm-hmm. And we're getting a lot of pressure from family that, oh, well, you can just get a first-time homeowner's loan and just put 3.5% down, and we can have walk into a brand-new house as a newly married couple in September. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting a lot of pushback on, well, you don't want to rent, you'll be throwing your money away. And, if anything goes wrong, my dad runs a heating and air company, and I got an uncle that's a plumber, and she's got family that has experience. So I'm getting this, well, hey, don't worry about needing all of this savings, because if something goes wrong, you'll have family support, which is kind of good to know. But also,
it's good that they're willing to put up. It's good that they're willing to put up money, because they're definitely managing your life.
I was going to say, are they going to be paying your mortgage? Because if so, they don't get to speak into this.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I'm at. How do I push back against that? Because
you don't.
From my
you just smile.
Like,
you just smile and know that there's people in your family that don't agree with you. Welcome to being married.
Gotcha. Okay. It's my side of the family and the in-laws. So
yeah.
It's not just pressure from one direction.
Listen, they don't get a vote.
Yeah.
They mean well, but they don't really get a vote, because unless they're paying for it, they don't get a vote, and they're not paying for it.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate that, and you know what? I don't disagree with your heart, and I don't disagree with that, but right now what we're going to do is we're just going to do this, and well, I don't agree. Well, I don't, I'm sorry you don't, but that's okay. This is what we're doing, and just, you just smile and be kind and do what you want to do. And
you're not going to change their minds, and they're not going to change your mind. And so you just got to move forward with your plan.
So what I would do if I was in your shoes, Stephen, is I think the two of you spend the first year of your married life getting to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
Don't spend time screwing with a house. Just pour into
and that's it. That's and trust me, I'd love to own a house. There's a lot I'm excited about.
I don't want you to not own a house.
But I
just don't want you to own one the first 12 months of your marriage. I want you to spend that 12 months on your marriage. Pour into the relationship. And here's the thing that'll happen. Okay, you're going to have a lot more money as a good, strong down payment. You're going to feel comfortable with what you're doing. And you're going to make a different house choice 1 year after marriage than you will while you're engaged. Because you know each other more, and you've talked it through, and we've planned this, and we've looked at open houses and went to new housing tracts and talked about the features and things we wanted, and you dreamed together, and you'll build that house 63 times in your head, and you'll just make a better choice. That's what you need to do, man. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Wow, it is coming just a couple of days from now. The new book, Baby Steps Millionaires, will be out. If you want to learn how to be a millionaire using the baby steps like tens of thousands have done, we're going to give you the exact process. We've already given you the process. We're going to give it to you again, but we're going to prove it to you with like math and stuff, and with the data from the research, and with stories. I'm excited about this book. It's the first book I've done in 8 years. I did not intend to do another book, major trade book like this, but we just kept seeing this thing in the market where people were walking around, all these hope stealers were stealing people's hope, telling them you can't win today. And I don't like hope stealers, George. I punch hope stealers in the nose.
They're right up there with dream killers for you.
Yeah, they're hope stealers, dream killers. They're like brothers and sisters or something, or dysfunctional cousins.
Kissing cousins.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's kissing cousins, dysfunctional cousins. That's
I'm excited. Are you going to wake up with a little pep in your step on Tuesday morning?
I got it right now. I mean, I'm excited about it. And the event you and I and Rachel are doing on Thursday night, I'm excited about it. This is a good message of hope, which is what we do here.
That's what you read on the headlines, Dave. Everyone's so hopeful.
Yeah, it's so much hope out there in America.
No
right
cynicism
now.
At all.
So I just love putting this out there and just pushing some of the trash aside that's in the headlines, and some of the toxicity in people's voices, and the lack of hope, and we're stuck and we can't get ahead. I can show you otherwise, okay? This is the non-whining book is what it is. So Baby Steps Millionaires audio book and ebook is included if you pre-order the book before Tuesday when it comes out. So you've just got a little bit of time to do this. We're also going to throw in the Legacy Journey audio book and ebook. We're also going to throw in the Ramsey Smart Tax Filing for your federal income tax filing. We're going to throw in 30 days of Ramsey Plus, which puts you into Financial Peace University and into Every Dollar Premium. All of that is there, and it's about $150 worth of goodies. You don't want to miss all this. Go ahead and get the pre-order on the book, because you're going to order it next week anyway. You might as well get it from us and get it right now at $20. It's the best deal, and you get all these hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. So get it all at RamseySolutions.com, and we will be we'll be ready to go Monday with bells on, screaming and yelling about this book coming out next week, and just excited. It's been a really, really fun process, and doing a book is a tough thing, but it's a lot of work. But this one is just from the time we started it, it's got something on it. So pick it up, Baby Steps Millionaires at RamseySolutions.com. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com, a great American company with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Even if you screw up, you mismeasure, you pick the wrong color, they'll remake your blinds free. You get free samples, free shipping, new promos all the time. Always use the code Ramsey, and you'll get extra special deals. Yeah, don't miss out. That's magic. Ramsey, put that in the promo code.
Today's question comes from Shania in New York. I'm 25 years old and just finished graduate school with some student loan debt. I landed my dream job as a mental health therapist and earn about $47,000 per year. I live at home with my mom and siblings, and my mom wants to move to North Carolina next year for cheaper housing costs. I personally don't want to go because I don't want to leave my job, but I'm worried about the financial struggle I could face when moving out on my own. I could afford it, but it would be tight. Would it be foolish for me to stay and find a place here when North Carolina is so much cheaper? I'm really conflicted here and would appreciate your advice. Well, Shania, you're 25 years old. You're a big girl. I would live on your own regardless of where you end up. And if you love New York, I would stay in New York. And if it's tight, it's tight. Your income's going to go up, and you should be able to afford something there. But if you are just in love with North Carolina, you want to be close to family, and you can find a job over there, that's an option too. But I would not base this on where mom is going.
Yeah, Shania, you don't need to go to North Carolina. Not because North Carolina is bad, and not because you don't need to go to North Carolina, but the only reason that North Carolina is on the table is you have to follow your mommy. And you don't need to follow your mommy. You're like a grown woman and stuff. So time for you to be that. Hey, welcome to adulthood. We're glad you're here. Karen is with us. Karen is in New York City. Hi, Karen. How are you?
Hi, Dave.
Oh, it's Corinne. I'm sorry. It's Corinne, isn't it?
Yes.
I screwed it up. They told me, and I still screwed it up. How can I help?
Yes, so I have a question. My mom is 62. She's on survivor benefits with Social Security. You know, she's working part-time, $28K a year, but she lives with us. She lives with my family, my kids at our place, but she really wants her own place, and she's breaking out in hives because, you know, she feels like she wants to be on her own. She's been living on her own for so long, but she got laid off, and now she needs her own place. But she has a retirement account, about $180K in there, but she sees that as her death benefit. She doesn't have life insurance, so she's saying that's her death benefit.
No, it's not. It's her life benefit.
Right. That's what I'm telling her, but she doesn't want to touch the money. So I'm just want to know what are her options to get her own place?
Touch the money.
Right.
It's time. I mean, you know, this is so inconsistent. I'm breaking out in hives because I want to live on my own so much because I have a broken view of this money.
Right.
Her job is not to leave you with an inheritance. Her job is to not be a burden.
Right. Yep.
And she's conflicted between these two things because she's put too much of a premium on leaving you an inheritance. What you guys have got to do is spend some time. Mom, we're fine.
Right.
If you leave us your smile, you did your job.
Exactly. But the other thing is she's only making $28K a year, and no one's giving her an apartment for $28K a year.
Well, you guys are in New York City?
Yep. It's so expensive. I mean, a basement apartment is $1,400 a month.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, unless you find
so
something.
So where was she living before?
In New York, but she had a better paying job.
Oh, doing what?
She was working at ADT.
Doing what?
Admin.
Okay.
She was
admins in New York pay a lot better than $28K. What the flip's she doing now?
Well, she was getting about $60K.
I know. They do a lot better than $28K in New York.
Right. She's doing home health aid now at $28K.
Okay.
And that's part-time?
Part-time.
Is she able to work full-time?
Sure.
She is, but she's also watching our kids.
No, she's not. She's going to get a new job.
Right.
You got to deal with your own kids.
Right.
This woman is trying to do too many things.
Yeah, she is doing a lot. That's probably why
she's trying to leave an inheritance and she doesn't have the money.
Right.
She's trying to take care of your kids instead of getting her own job because she's only 62.
Right.
So there's too much stuff going on. She's a very sweet person is the problem.
Yeah.
And she wants to be everything to everybody. And you need to let her, you guys need to have some real frank, you and your husband, with holding her sweet little hands in your sweet little hands, look into her eyes and let her loose from some of these responsibilities.
Yeah. So should she rent or buy a house?
Rent.
Rent.
Yeah, she's not buying anything for $180 in New York City.
That's true.
And I don't want her in a bunch of debt. She's 62.
Yeah, that's true.
So let's get her back into the $50,000 to $60,000 job, being grandma on nights and weekends, and out of your house. And if she needs to use a little bit of this money to make the transition, whoop-de-doop-de.
Mm-hmm.
And she may need to move a little further out from the city.
I'll get her with a SmartVestor Pro on the 180, and let's get that creating an income. It ought to create $15,000 to $20,000 a year in income.
Right.
And she could do that and not even touch the nest egg. That would help a bunch too. So let's. She needs to resign from some of her jobs. The I'm going to leave an inheritance job, the I'm the full-time babysitter job, and the I'm not going to use my money job, and get a new job making more money than she makes at her bad job she has now. There's a lot of quitting jobs here. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the podcast The Fine Print on Ramsey Networks. First season is in the books. You need to go listen to the season. There's, 10, 11 episodes?
11 episodes total. We got a bonus one in there.
There you go. So be sure and check those episodes out. And we are planning now and whiteboarding where George is going to expose where the fine print is screwing you next.
We just did we got the research back. We did a survey. 1,000 of you did that survey for us. Thank you so much for that. And we got some great feedback on what people are interested in, what they want to learn about. And the words that kept coming up were, this was informative, this was honest, this was truthful, this was funny, this was entertaining. And so we hit the marks on that side. And so we're really excited to dig in some new topics for season 2 and help people avoid a lot of the traps that are out there.
Yeah, I agree with all that. It is all of that. So go be sure and check it out if you haven't already. The Fine Print, great podcast for you to check out at Ramsey Networks. It's, again, everywhere great podcasts are sold. Josh is with us in Virginia Beach. Hi, Josh. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave and George. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, I have a question about long-term disability insurance. My wife stays home with our 1-year-old. And she currently has a policy, but we think the premiums are too expensive for the benefit we're getting. So I want to get your take on that.
Okay. It's usually difficult to get disability insurance on someone that does not have an income.
And that's part of the whole question. So she got the policy before she stayed home. She was working outside the home, has since stayed home with our 1-year-old.
What was she doing? What was she doing for a living?
She was a physician assistant.
Okay. Because disability pricing a lot of times has as much to do with occupation as it does with age or health. So it's a little bit unusual. In other words, a window washer, high-rise window washer's disability is much, much higher than someone who pushes paper around a cubicle.
Sure.
And even if they're the same age and the same health. And so that's the kind of thing you may be running into. Have you priced it with some other, like gone to RamseySolutions.com with some ELPs and done a pricing run on it?
So like you said, because she's not working outside the home anymore, she's not going to qualify to get a new policy. But we have this old policy still in effect.
Yeah. How much is it?
So the thing is, the benefit on it is $1,500 a month, but we're paying $85 a month premium. It almost seems to me like we could just self-insure through a $1,500 a month hit if she were to become disabled.
I would.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty steep.
I was 90% sure. I just wanted someone else's take on that.
Yeah, there is actually some policies you can get now. In the old days, there was 0 options for a stay-at-home mom, but now there's actually some policies you can get. You might check with Xander or with one of our ELPs if you're concerned about it, or curious for that matter. You can get a quote for free and see what's out there. You can do it. It's just it used to be none, 0. So that's the issue. But yeah, I think with that small a benefit, $18,000 a year, you can probably handle it.
The question is, could we replace this income if she couldn't work? And it sounds like you could easily replace that $18,000 if you got creative, started working on the side. I don't know what your income is, but this doesn't seem worth $1,000 a month, a year in premiums to cover that benefit.
Yeah, that's a good point. And but it is a good time for you and I to stop and say, look, one of the most underinsured areas of the kinds of insurance you should buy is long-term disability. A lot of people don't have any, and it's and you're actually 12 times more likely to become disabled than to die by age 65.
Wow.
So, and everybody gets life insurance or talks about life insurance or knows they need life insurance or whatever, but they completely ignore disability insurance. The best place to get your disability insurance is through work, if you're working.
That's where I get it.
It's the cheapest. Well, we furnish it free. Yeah.
Thank you for that, by the way.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
And free to you, and not free to me. But yeah, we furnish it because it's not that expensive when we buy it in a huge group like this. And so it's an easy benefit as an employer for us to provide. But even if not, if you can buy it with the group through work, it's still going to be probably 25% of what it'll be in the open market most of the time. So if not, check with your trade organization, like your real estate agent, check with the realtors if they have a plan. If you're a home builder, the home builders, association, those kinds of things. You check with your trades. That's a good way. Another thing to remember is if you are paying for it, and you have the option of buying it with after-tax or before-tax dollars, buy it with after-tax dollars, because that way your disability payout, if you get it, will be tax-free. If you buy it with before-tax dollars, your disability premium or your disability payout, if it comes to you, will be taxable. So really, really important to buy it with after-tax dollars. One of the few things we tell you to buy with after-tax dollars.
Yeah, that's a good reminder there.
Eric's with us in Lansing. Eric, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I'm a student at Michigan State, and our administrators have gotten a little spooked by the Omicron variant, and because of that, they put the first 3 weeks of classes online. Now, of course, they didn't refund any of the $600 accredit tuition, even partially. So we're getting online classes that really aren't as good as in person, but for the full tuition. And really is just kind of frustrating because there's nothing us students can really do about it. And so
there's a certain period with most of the time that you can opt out of a class early in the semester and get your refund.
Exactly.
Already gone past that?
So it's in February, and I'm trying to do a little bit of student activism before that to get students to realize, hey, you don't have to get yanked around like this. You can disenroll and get a refund on your tuition.
Yeah, I would.
The problem is that students are really nervous about doing that because they're like, well, what do I do? And so trying to give students some advice on where to find internships, where to find a job. I took a semester off in 2020 and worked at the hospital and put $10,000 in my 401k. It was a great time. But is there any advice that you would have for these students that are just frankly scared to kind of make that bold move?
Yeah, it's not as bold a move if you have something to do. If you decide I'm going to go do X, I'm going to go do Y, or I'm going to just transfer to a place that actually has classes. And that school just lost my business. Because if I wanted to take online, I would have signed up at an online place. And that's okay too if you want to do that. But I'm not going to, pay for the college experience and be online. I'm not going to do it. So I like your idea. And it's not just to punish them, but there's marketplace consequences to these policy decisions for the university.
Exactly.
And so I don't know if this particular February it will all come home to roost, but I can promise you this, higher ed is, people are looking at higher ed completely different, and a lot of it is not just the student loans and just the expenses, but they're also looking at higher ed different because of the, and not just because it's getting more and more expensive, but also because of their reaction to COVID and what they've done to the students. And so, if I'm a student there, I'm gonna go find a job, and I'm gonna take a semester off, or I'm gonna go to a school that allows me to go to class and just take my money and go over there.
Yeah, the worst thing you can do is think, I don't have any options, woe is me, instead of using this time intentionally, making some money, finding a different school. And I know it can be a pain to transfer, but if the school isn't giving you any more options other than, hey, you can get a refund, then you've got to make a move here.
Yeah, and that's and they've proven to be undependable. That's the thing. We now know who you are. We know how you're going to react in these situations, and so
it's revealing a lot about the college experience.
You're probably going to do it again, and so lots of businesses and friends and family members, and we now know who you are. And we know how you're going to react in these situations, and it's disappointing. This is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. I'm your host, Dave Ramsey. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Barry is in Greenville, South Carolina. Hi, Barry. What's up?
Good afternoon, everybody. I, over the years, have tried to save my pennies, and we got to the big one, and now I am about to, well, no, I am retired. I've been retired 20 years. I'm turning 80. Oh, no one a penny. Own a very nice house. We're doing fine, but I have no idea how to produce income with this cash. I have nothing in the market.
Okay. And you have the big one you're talking about, you've got $1 million in cash?
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Way to go. So, Barry, how much money did you inherit? Are you a millionaire because of inheritance or because of your hard work?
No, I'm my inheritance is zilch. It's hard work and just good common sense. And I got a hold of you guys and Run Blue years ago and kind of followed them and so on and so forth. My kids are all gone and gone. They've all done exceedingly well. I don't need to leave a penny to them. And then since my last kid left, we have always paid 20% gross to giving.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Big heroes. But anyhow, so here we are. Well, basically, all the money we have coming in right now, I sold some apartments I had, blah, blah, blah. And we have Social Security, and I do a little gig on the side to earn a little money that it more than covers our monthly expenses. However, I want to be 100% retired.
Yeah, good for you. Well done, sir.
Impressive.
Very well done. And is there a reason you don't have any of it in the market?
Well, I was in the market, and it went higher, and I got frightened and pulled out, and then I'll get back in, and I kept going higher and higher and higher and higher. Anyhow, big mistake, and now it's up at 35,000. It's ridiculous. Can't believe it's this high, but I got out way too soon.
What were you invested in?
Back in for here.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I kind of called it a fund by my last name. I was in some real good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
I had some really good. I wish I had never sold it. I would have a heck of a lot more. But right now, this is where I am.
Okay. All right, good. Well, what would I do if I woke up in your shoes is how I answer questions here. I think I'm going to get really comfortable with generosity piece, which you already are. I'm going to get really comfortable with leaving money to kids even if they don't need it, and or leaving it to ministries or charities that
Yeah, listen, I know what to do with it. I have no problem there. It's
okay.
How do I generate some income so that I'm not living just on Social Security and I can't do this little gig that I'm doing?
I got you.
What do I do with this money?
I personally would put it in the market. I would sit down with a SmartVestor Pro and pick out some mutual funds and let those mutual funds create an income. And I mean, you're going to create $70,000 to $100,000 a year in income off $1 million invested in mutual funds. And even if you tear into the principal a little bit systematically in order to have the income coming in to have the lifestyle that you want, you've got a figure in mind that you need coming in. I would invest some of this money to do that. You don't have to invest it all. You can, whatever gives you a comfort level, but I'm 61. I'm not getting out of the market. I'm going to ride it all the way in.
Yeah. If you've got nothing that you want to spend that money on right now, I would be putting as much of it as you could into the market, and working with a financial advisor is going to help with that fear that you have of what's going to happen. Am I putting my money into something conservative enough? They can walk you through all of your options there to make sure that you're comfortable. They want to make sure that you're educated here.
I do think you need to maybe sit down with a SmartVestor Pro or someone that you can develop a trust with. Not a trust that do you do everything they say automatically, but a trust that I trust their judgment. And so when they're telling me something, I can give it serious consideration. And so if you get freaked out and go, oh, the market's too high, and you call your guy or your gal, you sit down with them, have a meeting with them, a cup of coffee, and go, look, I'm having that thing again. I'm ready to pull it out again. And then they can talk you off the ledge because you have a trust level in their knowledge base, and they teach you something that gives you a reason to get off the ledge.
Yeah.
Instead of just jumping off, because your problem is you're jumping in and out all the time. And that you told us that. You told us that was your problem. So that's what I would do with it. That or go buy some real estate with it. You just got out of the apartments, something that creates an income. You do something that goes and creates an income. Sounds like you like real estate like I do. So that might be an okay thing. Very well done, sir. Congratulations. Adam is in Houston, Texas. Adam, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, sir. It's been a pleasure talking to you today.
You too. What's up?
Hey, my name is Adam. I'm 34. I came to this blessed country in 2009. Basically, my net worth is $1.2 million, and I own 5 rental properties and 1 home which I live in. And currently, I have $183,000 in cash, and I have $632,000 in total debt, with all the rentals, including my primary house. Mm-hmm. So I'm just trying right now, me and my wife, to slow down and trying to pay down the debt. And we are in a debate right now. So instead of paying down the rentals or paying down our house first. So we're just in the middle now.
Mm. Do you owe money on your personal residence?
Yes.
How much?
$198.
And you have $183 in the bank?
Yes.
What's your household income?
$162.
Okay, so you got $400 on the rentals and $100 and $200 on your home, give or take.
That's and also including the $18,000 car. That's included with the $632,000. Because I use those credits, what they call it, like monitoring, and they just count how many dollars they owe, and it shows the total debt I have is $632. But it's including $18,000 with my car too.
Do you still have car debt?
$18,000.
Yeah, okay. You need to pay the car off today, and then I would work on paying my personal residence off, and then I would work on paying the rentals off.
Okay. All right. That sounds a plan. That's what I was talking to my wife. My wife was telling me we can keep the cash. It's there. And we keep adding to it every month. If there is an opportunity, we can jump on it. If it's not, we just
No, there's not an opportunity. The opportunity right now is get your debt cleaned up.
Okay.
And then when you got zero debt, you're going to have so much cash coming out your ears, then you're going to see some opportunities, and you're going to pay cash for them from this point forward. You have the opportunity to stabilize this portfolio that you've grown, and if you continue to go the other direction, you're going to continue to destabilize it and eventually lose it.
Yeah.
Because you like buying real estate, and debt doesn't bother you, and it needs to start bothering you. This is going to catch up with you.
Yeah.
You got here okay, and so far you're okay, but but you're like the guy who put 1 quarter in the slot machine and won, and you think this is going to work every time. And I've done this a long time, Adam, and I own a bunch of real estate, and I love real estate. So if you want to, you called the Ramsey Show, and you weren't going to expect to hear anything except get out of debt. And you also said, what's the fastest way I can get out of my debt? And now you're going, yeah, but you're saying yeah in a way that makes me think you're not doing any of this stuff we're telling you.
Yeah, people tend to get a little starry-eyed with real estate investing, and I just got a message from a guy yesterday on Instagram who lost his shirt with this. He got a little excited about real estate investing, did it before he was ready, and he ended up losing a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And so I was trying to help him clean up this mess. And
now, I don't think Adam's going to go there today.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the issue, but what the issue is with Adam is when he says stuff like, well, I've got this money set aside for an opportunity. Translation, I'm getting ready to go buy more real estate on debt. Okay, and as soon as I see something I like, and right now is not a good time to buy real estate anyway. It's a great time to sell it.
Great time to pay off your debt, though.
Amen and amen.
Always a good day for that.
Amen. Hey, thanks for the call, brother. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. Austin is on the phones. James Childs is our producer. George Camel is my co-host. I am Dave Ramsey, your host, and we'll be back with you before you know it.
It's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host as we take your calls about your work, your relationships, your money, you, and how all of these revolve together. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Jen starts off this hour in San Antonio. Hi, Jen. How are you?
I am better than I deserve, Dave.
Good. Happy New Year. How can we help?
Yes, sir. My husband and I are, we're Army. We have an 18-year-old who will be joining the Army. He's going to be leaving for BCT in June. He's a senior in high school right now, and he's 18. And I want to set him up, financially with a good base. My husband and I have both been through FPU. We graduated. We are debt-free.
Way to go!
We had $97,000 of debt. We got rid of it in 3 years on specialist pay.
Wow.
And that was not a lot of money, and I was still a stay-at-home mom. My question for you, for the 18-year-old, is should we sign him up for FPU military, or foundations because he's still a senior in high school?
Probably military.
Okay.
It could, or just regular FPU, either one. But this is an adult doing adult stuff, and you're preparing him for that. How much of your story does he understand?
I'm pretty sure that he doesn't really remember a whole lot of it. He was a little kid when we were grunting through all of it.
Is he working, or has he worked in high school at all?
He does have a job now. He's not making a whole lot, but he does have a job right now. He does have minor expenses. I am making him, the car that he is driving is an old beater that we just never got rid of. We paid cash for it, and we never got rid of it. And so we're just passing it along to all the kids. And his responsibility is to pay insurance and gas for that.
Good.
I think you're in a unique position for two reasons. One is your debt story, and two is your military story. Thank you for your service. And I
Thank
think
you for your support.
Yeah, and I think you sit down with him, you and your husband. You might even, the two of you take him to dinner somewhere nice. And, to celebrate him going into the military and to celebrate him moving into manhood and so forth. And during that dinner, I would do two things. Number one, I would convince him of I'd convince him of your position using two things. One is, we've been in the military all these years, and let me tell you, here's from a military person's perspective that is experienced, not brand new. Here's what all the stupid people do when they're 18 and they go to boot camp, because there is stupid all over that, right?
Oh, you wouldn't believe.
Oh, I do believe. We work with the military.
That goes to post.
Yeah, it's when you leave the base, they're stupid down both sides of the road for about 2 miles. And
yes,
so, that's the thing. And so, you need to just talk him through that military as an older military person with experience. And then on top of that, you say, now you probably don't remember it, but here's our story when you were a little kid. And here's what we did, and this is how important this stuff is. So we've gotten you this Financial Peace University military, Financial Peace University, and we want to insulate you against stupid by giving you this information so that you don't go out and repeat what most people do and even a little bit of what we did. And I think that's what most people that are 18 and go to boot camp do. They do all these dumb things. We know that as military people. We also know that this debt thing is this because we did it, and this is how we got out. And you don't remember the strain. You were a little guy. You don't remember the grunt. You were a little guy. And this is mom and dad as adults talking to their adult kid. This is your oldest, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. This is a whole new phase for you guys to learn to have friends, to become friends with your adult kids and advise them from the friend seat instead of the mom seat. And that's kind of what I'm recommending here. You're building credibility. Let's pretend this was not your kid, that it was your friend's kid. And you took them to dinner. That's how you would persuade them. You would not be able to use your mom voice. Right?
Yes.
And that's a new skill you got to develop anyway, because he's getting ready to be out of your control in about 20 more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of fear here of I hope my kid makes good decisions, and it sounds like he has incredible parents, so I'm less worried about that, but I do want him to avoid all of these traps, and going through something like Financial Peace University is a great way to do that, and I would love to gift that to him. We can gift him with a Ramsey Plus membership. Austin will pick up and make that happen for him, and you tell him this is from Dave and George, and they said the only stipulation is you have to actually do it.
Yeah, amen. Good stuff. Yeah, hang on, and Austin will pick up. George, I did that exact same thing, but from a civilian perspective when the kids are getting ready to go to college. We had a rite of passage moment that says, we have trained you in how to walk with God. We have trained you in how to be a confident young woman, young man. We have trained you. Now, and here's what people do when they go to college. They're dumb. They play beer pong instead of going to class. And there's a high correlation between people that attend class and they graduate. And there's a high correlation between people that look at the list of classes you have to take to graduate in 4 years and actually take those classes, and then you will magically graduate in 4 years. It's an amazing thing.
So you're helping them, warn them about, hey, here's what you're going to see. Avoid this.
Yeah, you're going to see people do things that you never dreamed that people would ever do. And you're going to see them do it right there in front of you. And then you got to decide who you are before you get in that situation. And so you kind of set them up. We have the rite of passage conversation that is insulating or ensuring that this is what's coming, and here's how you're going to deal with it. Or you're going to be in a mainstream school. Not everybody there is going to share your religious views or your faith, and so you're going to have to act. You're going to have to be a representative of that. Ramseys just don't act like that. Ramseys act like this. And you know that because you had to do that under our watchful eye while you were a teenager, but now you got to make that other move. And that's just a really good thing that parents need to plug in and do. It's a powerful thing. I gathered about 15, 20 guys on my back porch and had all of them give my son advice before he left.
Wow. He'll never forget that.
Strong men, good men that were successful that he looked up to.
And it worked.
And that advice, we put it on a DVD and stored it. It was pretty incredible.
Wow.
If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. week is a big week at Ramsey. The new Baby Steps Millionaire book comes out on Tuesday. If you haven't pre-ordered yours, you should now at RamseySolutions.com for $20 to get your deal. It's got about $100 worth of add-ons. All of that stuff goes away on Tuesday when the book comes out. So now's your time to get that as quickly as you can. And we are doing a live stream event called Building Wealth in 2022. The in-person tickets, over 1,500 of them, are sold out. They sold out in just a matter of days when we opened up the event. So now we've opened it up to a free live stream. Over 70,000 folks have registered so far, which means that there'll be over 100,000 viewing it at least. And you don't want to miss this. George Camel, beside me here, Rachel Cruz, Ramsey personality best-selling author, will be with me to tell you how to build wealth in 2022. We're going to deal with all the discussion of all the stuff everybody's talking about out there. And Get Rich Quick is alive and well right now. And been thinking about that a lot and, got some things to say about it. So you don't want to miss this. And you don't want to miss the steps to really building wealth. We're really, really, really going to show you how to really become wealthy. And yes, more than 10,000 people have become millionaires doing the Baby Steps Millionaire stuff. So we actually do know what we're talking about. Dave Ramsey's only good for getting out of debt. You're an idiot, okay? Dave Ramsey's led more people into millionaire status than anybody else walking right now.
Boom.
So that's mic drop, all right? So let's just talk about it for real here and quit dealing with your dad jokes and your boomer jokes and all the other BS some of you Reddit threads have got going. So we're actually going to address this stuff head on. And some of you are not going to like what we say, but we're going to tell you the truth. That's the way it always is around here because we love you and we want you to win. RamseySolutions.com/wealth to register for free to watch the live stream Thursday the 13th. This Thursday coming, a week from yesterday for most of you, the 13th, next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock in the evening, Central Time, a free live stream. But you do have to pre-register to be able to get it for free. Just go to RamseySolutions.com/wealth. George, this is going to be great.
I'm really excited. Next week is a big week for a lot of reasons, Dave. You've got the book launch on the 11th. We have the event on the 13th. And I'm going to tease something else happening on the 12th.
Okay.
And that is my debt-free scream.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to let the cat out of the bag if you're listening right now to tune in. Third hour. Debt-free scream from the Camels. So I'm really excited. I'm kind of nervous. My wife's freaking out.
It's Friday. It's on the 12th.
It's on Wednesday. So we got the book launch on Tuesday. I'll be hosting the show with you on Wednesday.
And we're going to do that. And you're going to have to get up out of this chair and go out and do your debt-free scream.
I'll take a break and go do the scream.
Okay.
And then be back on the air.
That'll be a little weird.
And then we have the event on Thursday. So it's going to be a packed week.
Yeah. It's a big week. And a lot of stuff. So George and Rachel and I on Thursday night, don't miss this, RamseySolutions.com/wealth. It is a free live stream. No salesman will call. Randy is with us in Toronto, Canada. Hi, Randy. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Hey, so me and my wife are almost finished here with baby step 3, and we're going to get ready to start investing for retirement this year. Since we're living in Canada, I was wondering how much U.S. funds we should hold in our retirement accounts as opposed to Canadian funds.
I don't know. I would think, you have the equivalent of 401k systems there, correct?
We do. We do have the equivalent of Roth IRA here, but it's very popular for Canadians to hold U.S.-based funds because the U.S. market is so much bigger than the Canadian market.
Are you allowed to do that inside of your retirement plan?
Yes, sir.
Why wouldn't you then? Just put it in whatever's best. If the U.S.-based funds are performing better than the Canadian funds, fine. If their Canadian funds are performing better than the U.S., then put it in the Canadian. This is not a nationalist issue. It's not a patriotic issue. It's a math thing.
Right.
So where are you going to make the most money? I'll put it in Germany funds. I don't care. Where's it going to make the most money? And I might have some moral objection to China, but I don't to most anybody else. So you've got to look at those kinds of things. But if you've got access to them and you've got the tax protection, I don't know much about the Canadian system other than I know you do have the equivalent of a Roth going there. So yeah, you do your your version of a 401k Roth there, and if you fund it with the best funds that are available.
Yeah, and as long as you're diversifying that across the 4 types, growth and income, aggressive growth, international, you're going to be diversified all over the world anyways. But like Dave's saying, Canada's economy, it's a small part of the world, so there's nothing wrong with going all in on U.S. stocks if that's what is best for your mutual funds. So there's no issue with you investing in U.S. stocks. Make sure you're working with a tax pro. If it's in your 401k and it's tax advantaged, that's always going to be the best route to go.
Yeah. And, the 4 mutual funds we suggest for the U.S. listeners is growth and income, aggressive growth, and international. Thus, the companies that the international funds, it might be a U.S. fund, but it's investing in international companies. The companies are international. So, yeah, that's what we're looking for is the best rates of return. John is in Columbia, Missouri. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I recently sold my car. It was paid off. It made about $10,000 in profit. I had planned on taking that. It's $34,000 in savings and paying off my only debt, which is a $28,000 student loans. But I'm worried about the taxes. I know that's kind of an unusual situation, so I've never heard of making that much money on a car sale. Should I put some of it into retirement?
You sold the car for $10,000 more than you paid for it?
$9,750 to be exact. Yes.
Holy crud! That's awesome.
It was a 2019 Camry.
And it sold for $9,000 more than you paid for it.
$9,750.
Yeah, you covered that. Yeah, I got it.
So you paid cash for this car, and then you resold it a few months later, a year later?
No, it was May will be 2 years.
Okay. Wow.
I never thought I would be answering a capital gains question on a car in my life. But apparently you're going to pay 15% of that, so you need to set aside $1,500 for your taxes because you're going to have that as extra taxes, or you need to have that much extra taken out of your check throughout the year, one of the two, because you just created a taxable event. And if the asset was held longer than 1 year, so it should be subject to capital gains, I guess. God, I never thought I'd answer this question on a depreciating asset. But that's just bizarre.
It's where we find ourselves.
So wonderful. It's wonderful. Good for you. So now you got to pay taxes on it. And then what was your net? What are you going to be driving?
So I have a beater car, and I work remote. So I work from home. So I also have access to a family car, but I have a beater that I'd planned on driving until I figured something. But
so you have $34,000 in. You have how much in your account?
$34,000 in my checking account.
Okay.
Savings.
And all your debt is $28,000.
Yep, student loans.
Wonderful. Pay it off.
Okay.
You still got $6,000, even with a $1,500 tax bill coming up, and the $1,500 tax bill is 14 months away.
Okay. If I contribute to my retirement, could I bring it down that way?
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the taxes. I'd just be going. I just experienced a unicorn moment. I made money on a car. I'd just be so happy I did that. I'd pay some taxes. I wouldn't try to worry about the tax, limiting the tax burden. Let's just go be smart. Wow. Camel Ramsey personality is my co-host today in Chicago. Carly's calling, and it says on my screen, you're debt-free. Congratulations, Carly.
Thank you very much.
So how much have you paid off?
I have paid off $68,000.
Good for you. And how long did that take?
It took me 5 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that 5 years?
Started with about $65,000 was my income then when I started, and now it's $96,000.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
I'm an architect.
What kind of debt was the $68,000?
It was my student debt.
All right. All right. So why did it take you 5 years to do this? Wow, well, that seems like it took a long time.
It did take a long time. I live by myself in the city of Chicago. It's not the cheapest city to live in and do this on my own. So, but I chipped away and just kept at it. And, in it, I stepped back, getting a, smaller apartment, not as much. So did what I could. I had to buy a car, cash. In the process. So, and then with COVID, not making overtime, that's why it played into not paying off as quickly as I would have liked. But,
okay. All right.
Praise the Lord, it's done.
The good news is you stayed with it. Because that's pretty incredible. You just kept chipping away.
Yeah.
I kept chipping away. That's right.
Were the student loans the only debt?
There was credit card debt as well as some medical.
Ah, okay. A little bit of everything there. So
a little bit of everything.
What got you on this journey 5 years ago? How'd you get connected to us?
Sure. My older brother and his wife, they got married 10 years ago, and in that process of getting married, they went into it debt-free, paid for their wedding cash, and it just was a huge inspiration. My brother then led classes at his church with the Dave Ramsey approach and the baby steps, and I went to him and I was like, I need some help with, just seeing the mountain of debt that I had, and I was like, I do not want to continue to have this, as a shadow behind me and over me, so how can I get on it? So he helped me, and through obviously the steps that Dave Ramsey has laid out. So
wow, that's really cool.
Good for you, Carly.
They
well
led by
done.
example.
Thank you.
It's rare that works, where you lead by example, and you went, I want to know how to do that, and show me the way. You were willing to take that.
And now,
exactly.
Now today you're leading by example by sharing your story with everybody else. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Stay with it, and be disciplined, and make a budget.
Okay, very cool. Good for you. How's it
Thank
feel?
you.
How's it feel to be free?
It's now I paid off my last student loan in November, and it has now hit me where in my budget I'm seeing all that go into savings, and it's remarkable, and I give all the glory to the Lord. It's hitting me of just like, wow, I don't have to worry about any of those payments anymore. So very, very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Well done, kiddo. Well
Thank
done.
you.
I'm proud of you. I'm guessing
Thank
your
you.
brother was cheering you along all the way.
He was my first call after I paid my last payment in November. That's right.
That's awesome. How old are you?
I will be 40 in April.
Awesome. And not a payment in the world, making $96,000. Life is good.
That's right. Thank you.
Good
Thank
job.
you.
Really good job. Very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thank
Great
you.
work. Great work. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you coming. That'll be the next chapter in your story for sure. How ordinary people build extraordinary wealth and how you can too. And we'll send that on out to you, and also send you a copy of the Total Money Makeover that you can give away to someone and interrupt their process like your brother did for you.
Thank you very much.
Good job, Carly. All right, Carly in Chicago, $68,000 paid off in 5 years, making 65 to 96. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
I'm debt-free.
Yeah! Well done. Man, that's incredible. I'm so proud of you. Janelle is in Cleveland. Hi, Janelle. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, George. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely. What's up?
My husband and I are 65, and our kids are 32 and 30, and I don't know when to tell them how much money we have.
Now?
Mm-hmm. Well, the only reason I'm hesitating is because it's $1.5 million.
Yeah.
So
are they misbehaving?
Oh no.
Why do you think this knowledge will bring harm?
Probably the way I grew up. I didn't know anything about my parents' finances until I was, probably my dad died 55, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my parents just never talked about it. I never asked them.
Right. Yeah, lots of parents don't talk about money or sex, and then when their children grow up, they're surprised to find out they had both.
Well, they're both married, and my daughter's having a baby in about 3 days, so I think she knows about sex.
One down, one to go.
I wasn't talking about her sex. I was talking about yours, but yeah.
I know.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I think you sit down. Now, when I had this conversation with ours, they were just coming out of college. I didn't want them, I wanted them to have the maturity to be able to handle the discussion, the emotional and the spiritual maturity. And we're a family of faith, and so the conversation started with this. As for me and my house, we serve the Lord. And so the information I'm getting ready to explain to you is not you hitting the lottery, because you are not inheriting the money. You're inheriting the responsibility to manage the money for God.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we started the discussion, and that's still how we have the discussion to this day. They've yet to inherit any money, but they know what our wealth is in detail, and they know exactly what's going to happen to every penny of it. We have a big meeting once a year with our leadership team at our office and with our kids. And we go over every piece of real estate. We go over, any of the wealth that is there, and exactly how remind everybody how the wills and the trusts all work, because it's kind of complicated. And, we just have a review of this, and this is a transaction. So long ago, they got past the emotions of feeling like they hit the lottery.
Well, I guess I'm wondering why. Why do I... What's the purpose in it?
Because you can teach them to have the proper spiritual and financial stance on this while you're alive. Otherwise, you don't know what the reaction is going to be. And if you get a negative reaction, you may want to adjust some of your inheritance.
Okay.
Because we don't leave money to people in our family if they're misbehaving, because we don't want to finance misbehavior with God's money.
Oh no, I wouldn't do that.
I know,
either.
but
how about their son-in-laws or our son-in-laws?
Same thing. Listen, if it's going to affect if the information that this money is there is going to affect them, how much more do you think the money's going to actually affect them when it comes out of left field? And there's no time to emotionally process it. Oh, by the way, we're also processing the death of a loved one at the same time.
So you think the son-in-law should be included in this?
Absolutely. They are at my house, because they're family. They're not necessarily going to actually personally get the money, but their spouse is. And so you dadgum right. And you get to speak to all of them about what this means to you and how you think they ought to view this, and that we're not going to allow you to feel like you can push the car up into neutral because this is coming. We can have all kinds of good discussions, and it's all kinds of teachable moments. scripture of the day, Proverbs 16:8. Better is a little with righteousness than great revenues with injustice. Mother Teresa said, it is not how much we give, but how much we love we put into giving. But how much love we put into giving. That's it. I said it backward. Open phones at 888-825-5225. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Jackie is with us in Houston, Texas. Hi, Jackie. What's up?
Hi, Dave. Thank you for answering my call.
Sure. What's going on?
Hello?
Hello. What's going on?
Yes, I would like to know if we should sell our truck.
All right. How much do you owe on it?
It's $28,600, and I got an offer for $41,000 something from the dealer.
Wow. And what's your household income?
It's about $90,000.
Mm-hmm. And how much other debt do you have?
$81,000.
Yes, I would sell it.
I would sell it.
You know why? Let me give you how the tools I use to make that decision that quickly. Okay? Tool number one is you would never want to own, because cars go down in value until the last 3 months, and they go down in value. You don't want to own things with wheels and motors that total up to more than half your annual income. And yours do when we put your other car with it. And that's rule number one. Rule number two is, can I be debt-free, not counting my house, inside of 2 years and keep the car if we love the car? In your case, you could be driving a $9,000 car after you sell this pretty easily, have no car payments, and be able to work on the rest of this debt and be done. And so I would get rid of it. What do you think, George?
I'm in the same boat. I'm a fan of selling, especially in this market, when you can get that much for a truck, $41,000. They just write you a check, and you're out of this debt, and you can tackle this next debt, and you can upgrade in car later. This is not a forever thing, so I know it's not going to be fun to drive around in your $9,000 car, but it's not forever. You're going to be out of debt in 18 to 24 months. You've got $90,000 income there, and you had, $83,000 left on the debt, so you could pay that off in 2 years?
Yes. Basically, I'm making like $12,000 if I sell it, because I only have $28,000 left on that truck. So
right.
We're actually thinking of selling it.
Yes.
So I can put a big snowball in a...
Yeah, buy you about a $10,000 car and put a couple $1,000s towards the debt snowball, and then just attack. But the big thing is you got rid of this huge payment, and it's $30,000 or $29,000 of your $80,000.
Is that outside of the $80,000?
We actually have two cars. We actually have two old cars.
So you've got another car you can drive and throw the whole $10,000 or $12,000 at it.
Yeah.
On top of getting rid of $29,000. But is the $29,000 debt included in the $80,000 number?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so now we're down to 50 minus 10, we're down to 40. We cut your debt in half.
You're
by
doing this in a year.
Yeah, and we're gonna have another $3,000 in cash coming in. So we're throwing that into that too. So we're basically gonna finish the first $49,000 soon if I sell this truck.
I would sell it.
I'm excited for you guys.
This is awesome. Congratulations. Very cool. Here's the thing. It's a stupid truck. You can get another stupid truck. I've had a lot of stupid trucks. I like stupid trucks.
You got a smart truck now, though.
It's a stupid truck. They're all going down in value. It's a wonderful truck. It's a Raptor, and I love my truck. But it's not I can get another one. You can get another one. It's not. We treat cars like somehow like they're a diamond, and you can't. There's only one, and you can't get another one. They're everywhere. You can get you another car. I mean,
people get really sentimental over their vehicles.
Well, no, because it's a large purchase, we act like it's harder to get in and out of them, in and out of a deal than it is. All you gotta do is just go buy one. I mean, it's not.
It's an hour of your time.
Go buy another one, and get rid of that one. It's not that big a thing. So, the only thing you got is the licensing and transfer fees and that kind of stuff that'll get you. But so you don't want to be jumping in and out every 2 months. But I bought a car, a truck. Man, dumb. I kind of impulsed it. I liked it. I went on. It had these loud mufflers on it. Redneck. I loved it.
Was this back in the day, or was this?
No, this
yesterday?
is not that long ago. This is 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
And I just found a truck I liked, and I just bought it. And traded a Raptor I had at that time in on it. Or I sold the Raptor or whatever I did. And then I didn't like the truck. And I'm driving this thing for like 6 or 8 months. And every time I got in it, I didn't like the truck.
Just hated it.
And I finally went, Ramsey, you're an idiot. Sell the truck. You don't like it. It's just a truck.
You're not stuck.
And so I sold it. And I got another Raptor. Now I'm happy again. You know what I mean? It's just not, you're just not stuck in these things. You know, you've been driving that Honda for 5,000 years.
It feels like it.
That Honda needs to go.
The bumper's hanging off, Dave. I'd be embarrassed if you saw it.
You got more invested in your French Bulldog than you do in your Honda.
That's true. When your French Bulldog is worth more than your Civic, you know you're a hipster. There it is.
You might be a hipster if
that's a hot
your
take.
French Bulldog costs your designer dog costs more than your car is worth more than your car.
Your dog shouldn't be more than 1/4 of your income.
Dog should not be more than 1/4
new
of your
parameters
income.
and principles, thanks to me.
Yeah, that's whole new hipster principles. But yeah, that's the same thing. It's time we've been talking off air. He's getting a new car. That's why I can. That's why I can kid him about it.
Well,
y'all don't see. I'm not shaming George.
No,
George is not easily shamed. By the way,
when you have no shame, it's hard to do.
George is he's rocking that Honda with great, but doing debt-free Scream next week.
That's right. You'll see where my priorities.
We'll see what happens here. Got a debt-free Honda, a debt-free Bulldog, and a debt-free everything, and we're going to talk about that next week. It's going to be a big week. So, in the middle of all that, we can get. We're going to have to find George a car.
Yeah. I'm hoping Dave just gets sick of it.
What kind of car do you like?
Are you going to buy me one? I like where this is going.
I didn't. There was no intention of that at all.
I think technically.
I was just asking simply what kind of car you like. I'm also not going to buy you a dog.
I'm so boring and pragmatic. I'll probably just get a nicer, newer Honda. That's the truth.
George.
I know. I just don't understand cars, Dave. I didn't grow up.
You don't have a thing for them. It's not like a car that gives you a little zip. That
I've been in enough fender benders that that are my fault that I'm less excited about getting a shiny new car.
So your lack of confidence in your driving ability has dissuaded you from getting a good car.
It's my wife's lack of confidence.
Oh, now we're getting to it.
Yep.
We need Dr. Deloney in here.
This is turning into a therapy
session.
session.
Get John Deloney on the phone.
Oh, my
We got to
goodness.
dissect this here. All right. So, yeah, we're going to have to work on this, George. We're going to have to think about what kind of car. What would George look good in?
Ooh.
Like a monster truck?
I think if I get anything that's lifted, as high as you can lift it up, I want
With
a ladder.
a little step ladder to get up in it?
Yeah. I want to climb up into that truck.
Little ladder that rolls out. Those little rope ladder things that roll out.
Yep. With an underlight LED kit, just purple lights.
Oh,
that
definitely.
Looks like me.
That change while you drive.
Yep.
Yeah, that's you, George.
I mean, at this point, I deserve
not.
a clown car. Just the smallest, little.
Probably not.
Like a Prius.
No, George.
Like John Deloney.
No, George. No.
Okay. You care about me too much
George,
to let me drive a Prius.
Friends don't let friends drive Priuses. Yeah, this is George. You need like a real car.
All right.
You might be a Tesla guy though.
Yeah,
you might be a cool Tesla.
But I can't
Rachel's
fathom
a
spending that
cool
much.
Tesla girl. I'm not cool enough for a Tesla.
The price point on the Tesla still feels steep for what you're getting.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it. Spending $50,000 on a Tesla, I don't know.
Okay.
The ROI and the electric saving, and then having to stop on a road trip.
Well,
that part stresses me.
But the good news is you can plug in here at the building, and I'll pay for your fuel.
That's right. Fun fact: if you work at Ramsey Solutions, we've got electric spots ready for you.
And I don't have any gas tanks out here for the rest of us that can burn gas. So this is.
It's unfair.
I'm not treating employees the same. I should probably be sued for that.
Well,
oh wait, give it time.
Too soon. Yeah, there's Tiny, one of our team members, driving his Tesla out there. He's cheering, saying, "Thanks, Dave, for the free charge."
I thought Tiny was driving a truck.
He's got both.
Tiny drives a Tesla? A guy named Tiny drives a Tesla.
It's pretty
Think about that. It'll come to you. Okay. Well, that puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. George Campbell, Ramsey personality, my co-host, James and Austin in the booth. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.